We're all in?
Because we're all comfy now. We're all comfy on the sofa.
Now we're here. This is how it is. Oh, good morning.
I don't even know how to begin. There's so much,
It's
so much excitement. I'm totally freaked out. Like I've got my cool shirt on and matching with my buddy over there because we are heavily meditated this morning.
Right. Which is different than heavily medicated. We just want to point out it says a meditative.
Yes, coming off of last week at the Anton retreat, and we brought back with us a surprise for you guys. Look at who's here with us today. We manifested Cerise being on the sofa on this Sunday. I can't believe it.
Yeah, it was crazy. Because,
she was booked until May, literally.
Right, yeah. Cerise was booked until May, not us.
I mean, she was. We tried to act like it was us, but it wasn't.
We did. We did try to act like it was us, but it was
like, any Sunday you could be on there, any Sunday you want, and we'll say yes.
We'll say, come on in.
And then next thing you know, she was like, wait, how about this Sunday? Like, what?
Yeah, I know.
What's even happening right now? We are powerful manifestors.
Good morning, my dear.
Setting intentions this morning. Awesome.
Got to get our intention rocks in.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my goodness. So that's why I'm kind of like, so much. I want to say all the things already.
Right.
So much.
Right now in my brain. So, the topic this month is about thoughts. So there's many. Yeah. That's what I want to say is that there's many thoughts. But maybe we should start with it. Oh, do you want to say where we're at?
I want to say where we're at first. I'm looking at her like, is that how we, I'm all really excited, obviously. Oh, so I'm trying to stay grounded and stay focused.
Yes.
We are at the Unleash Your Life Studios, home of Reverend Dr. Michelle Whittington's beautiful practice. We are so grateful that she donates this space to us every Sunday so that we can be here in person with our people and with Cerise when she gets to visit us, and then also have a space where we can stream out live to everyone who can't be here. So we are really grateful for her offering of this wonderful space.
Yes, we are. And in case you're watching and you're on your way, it's 7220 North 16th Street, Building A. You'll see the picture of us on the sofa on the door. So if you're in Phoenix, come on down. You still have time to get hugs, probably after the service. But if you really need one when you first get in, we will hug you now.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Oh, and by the way, we have a special guest this morning.
We do?
Yes, we do. I mean, just a very special guest with us, in case you haven't noticed yet. Cerise Patron is sitting on the sofa with us. We are so, so happy. So I think those are the opening announcements.
Those are.
Okay. Who wants to start?
I want you to start.
Why don't I do it? Because you did our grounding.
I did our little grounding earlier. All right.
Let's take a deep breath in. Let's take one more deep breath, and we're going to center into this space together. We're letting go of everything that's come before this time. We're releasing anything on our minds, anything we know we need to do. We're just letting it all go just for this few moments that we have together in this space. And as we come together in our connection through spirit, we recognize there is only one power. There is only one presence, one energy, one life. There is only God. God is love. God is joy. God is connection. God is laughter. God is all there is. And as we know this to be the truth, we know that each one of us is that perfect manifestation of the one. We are manifesting in our own unique, special way. We're each that love, that joy, that laughter, that connection. And I'm so grateful for this. And I want to take a moment to rest in that while I speak my word into the law, knowing that as I do, I set the law of God in motion. And the law of God only says yes. And I'm knowing that this time together is perfectly guided, truly, truly blessed, as each one of us stays present with the inner pulling, the inner guiding of our hearts. we share what is ours to share. And I am truly grateful for this time. I'm grateful for our special guest that Cerise could be with us this morning. I'm grateful for everyone listening and everyone who is here with us present. And so I let it go, and I know that it is perfect, whole, and complete. And together we say, and so it is. Oh, I could hardly get through that prayer, and I'm so excited.
Nice.
Oh my God, I'm just ready. I'm ready this morning.
I want to send out some loving energy to Anne.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, and just knowing that where she is, God is, and she is whole, perfect, and complete.
Perfect radiant health.
Yes.
Perfect radiant health.
Sending you love, Anne.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
then, I know, can we?
They'll be all like, you're not allowed to have Cerise on anymore.
I know, I
because,
can't.
you
I
know,
am just
we're
excited.
okay. So, well, we actually, the
We'll
three
get there.
of us really had such an amazing week.
Mm-hmm.
We really did. And not just the three of us, we were surrounded by 100
few
of our
other
best
people
friends.
enjoyed it,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Mhm. You know, Reverend Dr. Jerry Trower described it as a family reunion. Yeah. And it truly, truly was.
And feel free to grab a mic. If
Yeah,
you
you
have
can
something to
always-
say, just put your hand up
yeah.
like, give me a mic. I got something.
But be careful.
Go ahead. That's what you're here for. That's what
they're
she's here for. We're
Yeah.
here to do it.
But before you grab it,
Before I grab it.
let's do our reading.
Yes.
All right.
All right, so today's reading comes from, surprise, surprise, New Thoughts for Today by affiliated New Thought Network, and it is page 182. Think and speak on these things. Whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, pure, lovely, and of good report. If there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things. And this is from Philippians 4:8, the King James Version. When a baby is born at the University of California, San Diego Medical Center, the nursery directs about 10 seconds of the song, Rockabye Baby, to be played throughout the hospital as well as in the neighboring medical offices. This always touches my heart. In this place where there are medical emergencies and challenges, there is also the recognition of a wonderful new life and possibility. Thanks to technology, I can find out what's happening across the street and around the world at any moment. In this thing called life, as I experience situations that bring me fear and concern, I allow myself to feel what I feel. But I also choose to recognize and celebrate the amazing healings, successes, and overcomings. And what do I talk about all day? In the book Scientific Christian Mental Practice, Emma Curtis Hopkins reminds me, right near at our hands is the heavenly city. While we have called it distant, could we expect it to be near? Right now you are wise and immortal, free, strong, and at peace. Can you expect to feel your own true nature and delight in your estate if you keep talking and thinking of how little you know, how mortal flesh and blood are, and how unhappy you are? Spirit brings its fountains of power to all words of I am and I will. Without discounting or ignoring life as it is, today I choose to keep my focus on what is just, pure, and lovely. Reverend Dr. Jerry Trower, Religious Science, La Mesa, California. And when I was there, I had him sign my book too.
Absolutely. For those of you that don't know, Reverend Dr. Jerry Trower is the president of Anton, affiliated New Thought Network, and that's the retreat conference that we went to this week, which was the most amazing experience, and I'm sure we'll be teaching and sharing on it for a very long time until maybe the next one shows up, because we had so many profound moments that happened for us individually and together. I mean, for the topic was emergence, and every talked about seeds, thoughts, planting seeds and the thoughts. And what was our topic last week?
Right? Seed thought
I
was
know,
our topic
that
last
was
week.
like, we were both sitting there like, oh my goodness, like we are completely in line. And then
Yes.
talking about how to create different kind of church and doing things differently and whatever. And we were just like, oh my gosh. So together we had a lot of, I feel like, yes, you're on the right path kind of confirmations. And then also individually, we both, I mean, it was just so much for me. And I'm sure both of you are going to say the same thing for your own selves, but it was a powerful experience. And it's fun that we read from Dr. Jerry, Reverend Dr. Jerry, a lot out of this book, because he is the president of that organization, and they created a very powerful experience.
And he will be coming to see us sometime before May. He did
Yes,
say.
he did say
He did say he'll come and be on the sofa.
He wants to be on the sofa, so that will be so incredible. I'm very excited.
Right.
Yeah.
We actually got
We had
a lot
yes.
of people who, it was very cool for us to be, like, I have goosebumps now.
Oh,
It was
she's
very,
getting goosey. She's getting goosey.
She's got goosebumps all over.
it was
The
very,
God bumps. The God
God
bumps.
bumps.
God
It
bumps.
was very cool to us when people would say, oh, so you're Sofa Sundays?
Or they say they know Jeannie from last year, and Jeannie like is really good about friending people and making relationships with people in that whole world. And so they would be like saying hi to her, and she'd go, "Oh, this is oh yeah, I know who she is. I see her on the sofa with you."
Yes.
Oh, I think you're like little celebrities running around. It was fun.
Yes, that was very
I know, it's just fun to watching it. I love that it's getting out there and doing what it's meant to do. So that's fun.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about it? Oh, she's gonna.
You can give me 2 mics. I'm okay. I was even saying just before we started today that I feel changed. I feel different than when I left. Transformed.
We'll tell you about that in a minute.
Yes, I feel transformed. But I feel that my vibration has been lifted. That just, and I know that you said this morning, being around other like-minded people really lifts your spirit, right? And that's one of the reasons that we come to Sofa Sundays or we watch it online, because when you are joined 2 or more, right?
Right.
Then your vibration is lifted. But there was more than that. I felt like the music,
Oh, the music.
the music, Daniel Nahmod
Daniel
was
Nahmod,
spectacular.
the whole time.
Nemo Patel joined him. The music was amazing. And I also felt like the keynote speakers, the power talks, those things this year really were another level. There was, and what I realized is that every single one of those talks, which I know that you guys even here on the sofa are probably going to go into some of those things that we learned, but they gave me permission to question, to doubt, and then to find my way back to the truth. And I think that kind of growth, that kind of transformation, when you are given permission to question, to doubt, to really say, do I really believe this? And then find your way back to yes. That's a different level of faith. It's a different level of trust. It's a different level of connection. So I felt like we got a lot of those opportunities, and then somebody, crying with you or holding your hand or hugging you while I still say yes, and they're like celebrating with you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's powerful.
It was so,
Yes.
I agree, so amazing. And so many of the sharers, the people, the keynote, and as well as the Power Talk people that shared like deep vulnerability, like came from places where, the moment when someone's up there talking and you're like, wow, they're really cool, they're so good at this or whatever. And then they share something that's like, oh my gosh, how.
Right. The level of
The level of
authenticity.
what they gave.
Yes.
Yeah.
And one of them said, so the thing about change and transformation, which I'll never forget, the change, what was his name again? His name was
Jafon Sealy.
Sealy.
Look him up.
Look him up and follow this guy.
Yes. He is amazing.
Wow.
Next level.
Next level.
Again,
And he speaks in
yes.
corporations. So if you have a corporation or whatever, he speaks in, not just in this at New Thought, he speaks for out there in the world secularly. Yeah. So, but he said that he doesn't like the word change, and he likes the word transformation instead. And then he said, because change is like how the leaves change with the seasons, right? They just change, and then they can go back to they go green, and then you've got the reds and the yellows and the brown, and it's back to green again. So like the change isn't permanent, right? But transformation is like a seed growing into a tree. It's never going to be a seed again. It's transformed now. It's permanently something else. And wow, that's
Yeah,
that's what I'm looking
yes,
for. When
that
I'm doing
was
this stuff, I'm not looking to
transformation.
go backwards and do this again. I'm looking for
Mhm.
forward movement, permanent, things permanently being different in who I am and how I'm showing up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, and Jafan absolutely brought that level of awareness and questioning. And, we talk, especially in New Thought, religious science, change your thinking, change your life. And one of the things that I really felt what became apparent throughout the conference was that it's not just about the thought process, it's the neuroplasticity that we're dealing with there in the brain of changing the thought, being a transformational thought. Reverend Dr. James Mellon said, about Ernest Holmes stating, don't be quoting me 50 years or 100 years from now. Like, we wanted to
Evolve,
up-level this and
Right.
evolve it, and changing our thinking, changing our life. To me, it's like sometimes we have to act our way into that
Right.
new thought. It's more than just, I'm going to think prosperity. It's what we say is, treat and move your feet. Like,
Yes.
say the prayer and do the work that's
Yes.
necessary moving there. And Reverend Dr. James Mellon, who is an amazing speaker.
Wow, that was one of those ones where I took a gasp.
Wow.
I was like,
He has a book coming out, and when he does, it will be a focus month for us here
You
on
all-
the sofa.
you all
And
have it. Yeah.
We are
We're doing
going
that.
to do a book study in addition to that, because this man is, he is transformational in his talks and everything, and so definitely want to bring that to everyone.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
One of the things I wanted to add about him, James Mellon, is that he gave me one of the biggest gifts. And I'm going to say it, and I know that it can be controversial, right? Because we know that. But he said, it's okay to say, I am God.
I am God.
I am God. You are God. And what I realized is so many times, especially in New Thought, in religious science and unity, in all of these teachings, which, I've been now studying for about 23 years, a little bit of time, is that they say that without ever saying it, right? You go to a church and they're like, everything is God. Everything you see is God. Everything you touch is God. All is divine. Every single thought, atom, piece, matter, nothing is not God. And you're like, oh, so I'm God. No. We never say that. Never.
Right.
You never say that. And you go, oh, wait, okay. And you almost feel like you're not allowed to do a full transformation, right? And he got up on the stage and he said, I am God. It's okay to say that. And it's not saying I'm God and you're not. It's I'm God and you're God and we're all God. And how do we step forth into the world from that? Because that's where real transformation comes from. It doesn't come from the playing small, right?
Right.
It doesn't transform the world.
Right.
You have to be willing to step out. And I really loved that. That was one of the things he gave me permission to step into. And that's one of the things that my transformation came from this week was, it's okay. And so now I have this mantra, I am God, you are God, we are all God, it is all God.
Yes.
And then before I do anything, I can step into that. And sadly, before I sing, great. Before I speak, wonderful. Before I do dishes,
Right.
before I go talk to my child who might have done something that I didn't appreciate. Can I say that before any interaction I'm going to have, before I drive into traffic on the freeway? I mean, because like I said, that's where I feel more transformed, is in those moments where I didn't before have the connection.
Well, I love what you said about the playing small part, because Rumi has that quote about the ocean and the little drop, right? And I'm always, because I come from a Jewish and Christian background, Jewish and Catholic background, and they would be offended if you said I'm God. They would be offended. Well, these people think they're God. It's like, no, I need to explain to you what that means because you don't understand what I'm saying. So there is a little bit of that stigma on it. So even when you're reading that Rumi quote, and And I think he even referred to that in his talk, right?
Yes.
So I always shifted it a little bit just so that it was a little more palatable for people that didn't actually understand. And I would say, you know, if God were like an ocean, right, we're like a little drop out of that ocean, right? So like, can you see that God's the whole thing, but we're not all of God. We're the little drop out of God. And then because of that, I have the same attributes as God. So I felt like that was a little more, but when you read the actual quote, that is not what that is saying. You are all of the ocean in a drop. You are all of it in a drop. So all of what God is moving me. It's moving me and as you and everything else. It's all God. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to shift how I'm saying that, because when I'm saying it the other way, it's dumbing it down and it's lowering the truth. It's not the truth. The truth is all of God is in me. All of it is, but it's also all in you and you. And that's the difference. And if we can make moves from that understanding, boy, everything's transformed, everything's different. So that was big for me when he said that.
I agree, the I am God statement, and his 5 questions, which I don't want to give away quite yet, but one of the 5 questions is, do you know how great you are? And I cried when we got to that question. And, you know, again, not to fangirl, but yeah,
It's okay.
Reverend Dr. James Mellon.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, total fangirls. We are
totally
total
fangirls.
fangirls. Yes.
You know, that because it was transformational. His talk, and all of them were.
I know.
Reverend Renee Laboa, who we
love
Renee,
We love her.
and her talk on let go or be dragged.
I know.
Right?
Say it again clearly.
Let go or be dragged.
Oh my goodness. How many of you have been dragged? How many of you have been dragged? Hello.
Yes, and you know, just the amount of authenticity that she spoke to in this. However, I've got to talk about Reverend Dr. Sidney. Who's a good minister?
Who's a good minister? You
So,
gotta say how she did
yeah,
that though.
so
that was the
she
best.
talked about. That's
That's the number one two takeaway.
This is
Yeah.
permanent transformation.
Yeah, that permanent. I'm just gonna be goosebump, God bumped.
Yeah.
So she talked about how we talk to our pets, our dogs and our cats, and how that loving. I mean, and we, you know, and I know all of you have pets, right? Because I know all of you, right? So like that dripping sweet love, and I mean, Dakota and I, our phones are filled with pictures of our cats, you know, especially Pumpkin, our little redhead, because she's our youngest.
She's a redhead.
And she's our
That's
redhead.
because she's a redhead.
We love her so much. Oh, she's just so cute. And so that's exactly what Reverend Sidney was talking about, how we tucked it. So then she challenged us to look in the mirror and say, who's a good minister? Who's a good woman? You know, who's a good mommy? Whatever that you identify as. So we walked around, like after her talk, we walked around doing it to everybody. You're such a good minister. You're such a good girl. You know, like we were doing this. And then she got in a bidding war at our auction.
The live auction.
And she won something, and we're like, bad minister. So, you know, we did have a moment there. Yeah.
Just a little bit of something.
It was funny though. And so yeah, so now I did do it this morning in the mirror.
Did you?
Mhm.
Who's a
Yeah.
good minister?
Who's a good minister?
Aw. Anyway, that was a fun takeaway. A lot of, you could hear the different conversations with that. You could, just because you could hear that tone, it was like, oh, they're talking about. And we were, exactly. And
Who's a good husband?
she and I were walking back from dinner, or was it dinner or whatever it was,
It
and we were talking about that and how we would use it and how we would share whatever. And the next day we realized she's behind
Yeah.
us. We were like, oh hi, it was very powerful what you said. We're still talking about it. I know. But everybody was like that. So we can't say enough what a great experience. And we'll definitely, they kept saying, you're going to be back next year. Oh gosh, yes. Oh,
So
absolutely.
we actually have our volunteer, like, so
Oh,
we
we're
have
volunteering.
volunteer
Yes.
committee type of thing. So we've already been volunteered. We volunteered ourselves to be the greeters for the banquet, because we were
We had
something
so much
else.
fun.
We did. We had so much
Yes.
fun.
Our theater lives, our theater worlds came out.
Yes,
We were enjoying ourselves.
And then there were people that we had missed, so we made sure that nobody felt like they hadn't been hugged. So
Because we did a great job.
We
We
did.
took our job seriously.
we did.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
I can vouch for that. I remember thinking it felt like prom. Because when we walked up, it was, oh, hello, welcome. And they were
That's what we did. We were like, welcome.
I mean, I thought I was going to turn the corner and there was going to be a photography booth.
We had too much fun. It was definitely, yeah.
Yeah, we had way too much fun, but it was really great. I am so grateful that we could make the time and do that.
Yes.
And then we also got Cerise to say yes to Sundays.
Yes. That was awesome.
Now I have to say something
Oh.
else. So here is the thing, that this conference was all about stepping into your power, speaking your truth, holding in manifestation what you want, not overlooking. It's everything about today, which is focusing on not ignoring your life, not ignoring what's happening, right? Because it's easy to Band-Aid. It's easy to spiritual bypass sometimes because it feels less stressful than dealing with the stuff, right?
Yeah.
So it's not doing that, but it is focusing on what you want and how you move toward that and how you become who you need to become to get it, right? And that's exactly what happened. You said, hey, we want to squeeze Cerise in, manifestors, go. And I went, well, I'll look at my calendar again, but there's nothing. And then I was like, well, I kept this Sunday off. So everybody went, okay, we're going to hold this spiritual practice and we're going to actually live it, not just talk about it, because that's what we do, right?
Right.
And then it happened.
Yeah.
Just
Which-
like,
I almost started crying when she texted. Well, actually, I have this Sunday open. I just okay.
I know we were in our
we
next
are walking.
event.
I can't stay in here. I have to walk out now because I'm so excited. I need to put this on. I need to do a live now. I got things to do now. I can't even focus.
aww.
That's
See,
so sweet.
see, now you know. You know,
Yeah.
behind the scenes. We're trying to be cool, but
You
we're
guys
all
are like
excited.
my bestest friends.
We
Come
really did. It was quite we
So
did have
sweet.
such
Yeah,
an experience.
we're girl fans, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
absolutely.
I fangirl you guys.
I know, right? Oh my
You know,
goodness.
Cerise and I
Here.
Cerise and I were talking beforehand about my focus is on what is just pure and lovely. And on Reverend Jerry's reading, when he talks about that sometimes things aren't that in the
Yeah.
world. And I would be remiss if I didn't bring up Israel at this point.
Yeah.
It's just
And-
not gonna
Absolutely.
That is not, that,
It's not.
thinking on people that were camping, going to dinner, living their lives, and military was in front of them, and that there were rockets going off. Now, with that experience happening in our very, very collective consciousness and the world in front of us, how do we focus on what is just pure and lovely when some events just are not?
Yeah.
I know that that's heartbreaking,
So I actually want to share something, and I was telling God I didn't want to share it, but then,
I am God.
I am God, so I ended up having to.
That's what the sofa does. It makes you share things. It makes you authentic.
So in the passage you read this morning, can you open
Yes,
that
I
again
can.
for me? So in that passage, the very first thing that's shared is about the hospital and about the nursery directing 10 seconds of the song Rockabye Baby when a child is born. And I think everyone in the room knows my story and knows that I lost my son Mateo during childbirth, and that hospital that he was born in also plays a song, and it didn't play when he was born because he wasn't born alive. So as soon as I read this story, I've had to read it a few times yesterday, knowing that we were going to talk about it today, because I was like, it kept bringing tears to my eyes. And then how does that apply to keeping my focus on what is just and pure and lovely in the midst of pain, right? So she doesn't know I was going to share something, but Maya is in the room, and was 3.5 when that happened. And they brought her in to see me after Mateo's body had been taken away. And I'm just sitting on the bed, and she crawled up into the bed with me. And every night when I was pregnant with Mateo, every night I would go into Maya's room, and for her to fall asleep, I would sing her Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. And so we were teaching her how she was going to be a big sister. And I had a baby doll that I bought for her, and we would sing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star to the baby doll. And so she hadn't been told what happened. She was 3.5. We sort of, okay, we're going to have to figure out how to tell her. She crawls up in the bed with me, and I'm just holding her. And out loud, she sings Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star for no apparent reason in the middle of the day, because she knew. Intuitively, her spirit knew what to focus on. And in that moment, it gave me what I can focus on, is this beautiful soul that's in my lap that is now older, getting ready to go out into the world and live out this beautiful life that she gets to decide what that looks like. And I know that when we focus on what is beautiful, even in the moments of crisis, it doesn't just transform us. It really does transform the room, the building, the city, the state, the country, and the world. Because whatever we are as this divine drop, right? All of God in us, whatever we are focusing on, whatever we are calling into form, whatever we are speaking into existence is flowing. So we get to speak peace. We get to speak love, and we get to speak joy, and we get to speak justice and right action and love into places that it appears they do not exist.
Exactly.
And that's amazing for you to share that piece from you. And when I read this passage last night, it came to my mind that, oh my goodness, Cerise is going to be, is this really what the reading says? When Cerise is going to be sitting on the sofa? And I thought that story might be provoked, that part of you might have to come out, because that's what happens when we sit here. It seems like those pieces are those authentic pieces, because we claimed that when we started this ministry, that we would sit here on the sofa and we would be authentic, and whatever comes. We wouldn't hide it. We wouldn't be like, oh, they won't want like me if I say that, or they won't want to hear it, or whatever. We just let it come. And so I thought, I had that moment where I was thinking to myself, oh, okay. And I was like, no, why are you doing that? Why do you feel like you need to protect from that? Or protect her, or protect anything? Like, this is all divinely guided, obviously,
Yes.
because you were booked until frickin' May. And then suddenly you're here and this is the reading? Are you kidding me? So as soon as you started saying, I'm like, oh yeah, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I don't know how God does it. I don't know how God sets it all up, because we didn't know you had that this Sunday off. We set this up last month,
Right.
for this week. We randomly picked which one we were going to talk about today, randomly, So if there's any proof that you don't need to know how the how is going to work, if there's any proof that stop
Right.
doing that, decide what you want, make sure your thinking is focused on things that are just pure and lovely, and just maintain your focus and let God do the how, because I don't know how God does that. How does God pick our reading? How does Cerise take Sunday off before we ever even ask her if she could be on this? Like, how does that happen? I don't know. And that's why they say that's none of your business.
Yeah.
Let
It is none of your
God
business.
do it.
Yep.
So the job of ours is to maintain the focus. Pay attention to what we're putting into the law of God, what we want God to say yes to. That's our job, is to maintain that. And then where God tells us to move, we move. When God tells us to speak, we speak. Or what all those things we do, what we are told, what we get the hits, right?
Right. Yeah.
I see that you're ready.
I just wanted to go back to the reading again. What struck me, what came to me was when he speaks to, I experience situations that bring me fear and concern. I allow myself to feel what I feel.
Yes.
You know, and Cerise had spoke to not spiritually bypassing it. And that, and again, anytime we have something that when we bring the focus out and we're giving the good, you know, like I focus on what is just, pure, and lovely. I always want to say, you know, let's not spiritually bypass anything that doesn't feel that way. Feel your feelings. And he says, but I also choose to recognize and celebrate the amazing healings, successes, and overcomings.
Yes.
And so that's what I loved about your story and talking about, you know, where Maya was in that moment, intuitively knowing what mommy needed.
Yeah.
You know, and what her spirit needed,
Yes.
and what Mateo's spirit needed. And, you know, in this day, I am holding that peace, that love for Israel.
Yeah.
You know, and not knowing, but knowing that we are all one
Yes.
in that.
And it makes me think about, was it Mr. Rogers that his mother taught him when things were horrible or things on TV were scary, and she taught him to look for heroes. Remember that, like shifting his focus,
Yes.
because you guys have heard that story, right? Where it was Mr. Rogers' mother that would say, but yes, it's what you're seeing on the news is devastating and scary and horrible, and there are always heroes. Focus on the heroes. Focus on sending them that, you know, this is my added, like focus on sending them the energy and the your thinking to them. Don't give these horrible things your power. Don't give it. Focus on the good that can be done through it, and let's give that energy to that. So when I see things that are devastating and make me just sick to my stomach and that kind of thing, I don't ignore it. I do allow myself to have feelings, but at the same time, I don't ever want to give my power to that. I don't want any more of that. Just like I don't want to talk about the bad guy on TV. I want to talk about the good stuff. I don't want them to get a second of any of my attention. You know, I don't want my focus on that. So that's not bypassing. It's like I'm choosing who and what I give my power and my energy to, what I'm feeding. So there's a piece in that, and I hope that makes better sense. How we could focus on something that's positive or good in a horrible situation, and maybe why we would choose to do that.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, that's a whole other thing. I think about that song, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, and I don't know if the kids remember this, but I changed the words to that song in kids' church. Do you guys remember the words I changed it to? It was Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Was it Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star? Is the truth of who you are. I think it's is the truth of who you are. Shine it brightly through the night. Share with all your love and light. In the twinkle. So it's in the twinkle of a star is the truth of who you are. Shine it brightly through the night. Share with all your love and light. In the twinkle of a star is the truth of who you are. Because that is the truth. That's the truth of who we are. And you should go out and share that. And you will have different experience.
I actually want to share one other thing too. Poor Maya came to church with me today, not realizing, but so this wonderful that one of the speakers, Nemo Patel, who's also a singer, and
Yes.
I mean, this man gave up his
Oh,
millions,
yes.
and
Yes.
he said, I don't want to be the person that I have to be to earn millions of dollars in contracts to be a rapper and a singer and a producer. I want to be the person that goes out and makes a difference in the world, right? And so, but he was talking about small acts of kindness.
Yes.
And one of the things I realized is that as a mother, I'm always trying to teach my kids to be humble and be sweet and be giving, right? But what I realized is that my kids do a lot of small acts of kindness for me, and I don't honor those things. I don't always, I mean, I'll say thank you, but I'm not focused on how I say thank you. And so last night, we're in the middle of moving, so our house is trashed and crazy, and my husband and I currently don't have a bed. Our bed is taken apart so that the floor can be fixed. So I said at dinner last night, I did not ask, kind of rude of me. Pretty rude of me. I said, hey, Maya, your dad and I are going to sleep in your room, you're going to sleep in this room, and you're going to share it with your cousin. And nobody said, really? How dare you? They could have, I guess. But okay, sounds good. And so I woke up this morning after a really great night's sleep, and I was laying there like, I'm so grateful that my daughter did this small act of kindness to allow me to sleep in her room. And I realized how important it is as a mother to say that. And so I realized as just being human, it's important for us to say that. So I think that goes to this, what my focus is on, because there could have been this moment of, oh, I didn't get to sleep in my bed, and my room is a mess, and the floor is still a mess, and blah, 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 and I could have focused on all of that. And instead, what I really saw was this beautiful act that my child did that was allowing me to be in that space, this sacred place. I mean, our bedrooms are sacred places, right? To be in that sacred place and allowing me to do that without even asking. I should have, and I will in the future. And that there are those, like, I know that there are those moments, because even Nemo Patel shared a story about how he got a call from a family there in India, because he lives in India.
In a 1-bedroom apartment in India.
In India, not making millions.
In an area of town that does not have an address.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he does that voluntarily so that he can make a difference in the world. And he has a foundation called Empty Hands. And he has these children that he's helping to make their lives better. And he takes them to do small acts of kindness. And one of the things he said was that it is powerful to know that you're giving. So he takes children and their families to show them how he makes a relationship with their families before he really works with these kids. That can take years, he said. But one of the things is he got a call from one of the families saying, hey, they destroyed our buildings. We have no homes. So he shows up, he had pictures.
Mm-hmm.
There's rubble. There's just rubble where their houses used to be. And they're all just sitting around in this rubble. And he says, I show up because I'm going to help. What can I do, right? Your house has been destroyed by the government. And he shows up and they're like, hey, do you want something to drink? They're laughing and talking. And they're like, there's a little store. I can go get you something to drink because you're our guest.
Right. We have chai, we have water, we have.
And he's going, what are you talking about? So what I want to hold right now is that the hearts of the givers, the hearts of the people who are there to serve, right? The servants in that way, the people who are meant to serve, to share, to love. I'm calling forth those people in Israel right now. Yes. That those people are showing up and that they are creating stories we may never hear of love and passion, the heroes, like you said, that they are there and that they are being of service in a way that changes the lives and hearts of what is happening to those who it is happening to. And I'm holding the space for them to continue that work, even though it's hard. I'm holding, and I know you are too. So yes. I say I as a collective, we all are, right?
Yes.
Because we can choose that focus.
I love that sharing. Thank you, Cerise. Does anybody have anything? I'm feeling like somebody wants to say something. I don't know why I felt that. Anybody need the microphone? No? Nothing? All right. I was feeling something. I'm like, we haven't asked anybody to share lately. No, but that was great. Yeah. So in those times where it feels hopeless and we're across the world and we aren't there and we can't do anything, we feel like there's always something we can do. Our prayer and our focus, those are our superpower. We always have that. Whenever you see something that you don't like or you can't do anything about, that you have that. So don't underestimate the power of our collective focus together.
For Evie, or you, or whoever. Take turns.
I just want to say, never to let it's whatever you're doing is too small get to you, because I sometimes, I do something that I do all the time that I think this is not making a difference, but for that one aspect, it makes a huge difference. And I can't do it all, but I can do something. And that's one way I have to look at it, finding the good. And I can't cure the world, but I can I can transform this part of the world. And it's tough sometimes because it just breaks my heart that I can't transform the rest of it, but I can transform that part of it. It makes a huge difference to that part of it.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yes,
And if everyone does that,
Yeah.
the world is transformed,
You're
right? If we all take that section that we can, the world does transform.
I just wanted to address the conflict that I have within myself and wondering how to go about the day. Well, like when you're like really clear about what's going on. I mean, there's war going on all the time, but when it's present, I don't know how to be with that, and I don't know how to be with it. I don't.
You don't have to know the how. Remember, you don't have to know. You don't have to know. It's okay. Wherever you're at is okay. And as you process and as things move through you, maybe tomorrow you'll have something. Maybe the next day you'll have something. Be gentle with yourself. When you're feeling like that, be gentle. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to, there's no should, you should be like this, and you should feel like this, and you should act like this. There's none of that. No judgment, nothing. Let it move through you and process through you.
There's not a spiritual hierarchy there.
No.
Your feelings, your tears are as much of God,
Yes.
and you are God.
Yes.
How you're feeling is absolutely perfect and needed. That expression is needed, right? So that is perfection, right? Here, right now, is perfection.
Tears, all that's cleansing. So you may be tapping into the people there. You may be feeling that energy and allowing that to come through. It could be that. While others of us are able to then focus on the heroes or to send the energy in a different way. So I say just allow it. Don't stop it. Let it be what it wants to be. Does anybody else have anything? Or do we feel pretty complete? We're feeling complete? Anything else?
I'm feeling good.
I feel good.
How about you?
Cerise, you have anything else? This is my favorite sofa.
Thank you. Thank you. Is your sofa not at your house yet?
It is, but this is still my favorite.
Oh, good. See, I love that.
You two are not on my sofa.
Aww.
And these lovely faces are not.
Oh,
on my
right.
Oh, yeah.
You mean,
And I'm grateful.
Yes.
I'm grateful that I know you both. That we've gotten to walk a lot of journeys together.
We really have.
And it hasn't been easy.
No. You know what? Everybody out there might not know it, but we were all in a homiletics class together, learning how to speak our truth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We've done classes and stuff. I mean, there's been a lot of life.
A lot of life.
There's been a lot of life.
So
and
grateful.
And I can say thank you for holding space for me when I didn't know what to do. And I will continue to hold space for you and all of you as well. There's a beautiful song Daniel Namath sang that he wrote I will remember for you.
Want me to play?
Oh, yes.
Yes, I think
You
it's
keep
a,
talking, I'll find it.
yeah, he did this beautiful song about you may not be able right now to remember who you are.
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
You may not be able to see the bigger picture or the greater good, and it's okay, because that's what we're doing together, is holding space for each other, right? And I think that is as powerful a gift as anything else that exists in our spiritual communities, is the ability to say, when you can't remember, I'll remember for you. And when I can't remember, please remember for me. And together, we'll get there.
I absolutely agree. It's a high holy practice.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. So she's gonna look and see if she can find it. I mean, it's called Remember. I'll remember. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's not what it's called. Maybe I made the whole thing up.
You made the whole thing up? There you go.
Maybe it's a song I'm supposed
He
to
did
know.
play it.
He played it. I
It
remember.
was
He did
so
play it.
good.
Yeah.
And it's called.
Do you know what album it was on? Or
Mm-mm.
I think it was called
So-
Remember.
Here's the thing about
For
Daniel
you.
Nahmad is during the conference, he wouldn't replay any song ever.
which I was mad about. 'cause
So
there's a couple I
he'll
want-
only
there's a
play
couple
it
I
once.
wanted more than
That's
one.
it, right? And so we all had favorites and we wanted to hear them again and again, and it was a no. So that's a no. So yeah, you had to be quick on it to remember each time he had something. While they're looking for that, I wanted to point out that Michelle and I are wearing our Labyrinth shirts.
Fabulous.
And
I
the-
didn't have one. I didn't have a Labyrinth shirt, so I went and got this yin yang that says, grow through what you go through.
there you go.
I was like, okay, well, that's it. So you guys can meditate and I'm gonna keep growing, because
There you go.
I'm actually highly medicated. So
This
also a spiritual practice.
There you go. Right? A pillar of prayer.
Here's his song.
I can see in your eyes you're so weary. I can hear in your voice you're afraid. I can tell by your touch you've forgotten so much of the truth. I'll remember for you. When the plans that you've made lay abandoned, when your dreams you have seen disappear, no reason to try. When you're wondering why, push on through. I'll remember for you. Don't you worry, even when you cry, 'cause every moment is in perfect time. Don't you worry, don't despair. You will find the answer to every prayer. So sail on your deepest ocean, go searching your skies above, and I'll be calling you here when it all disappears from here. Oh, I'll remember for you. Forgetting is easy when going is rough. The illusion can seem so real, but just beyond what you're seeing, you'll find you're enough, ever more than your human feel. So sail on your deepest ocean. Go searching your skies above. I'll be calling you here when it all disappears from view. I'll remember for you. I'll remember for you.
So let's just stay in that memory, in the remembering of who we are. We are the one power.
We are.
We are the one power, the one love, the one joy that is God, that is us. We are that amazing, effervescent love that is the divine in, through, and as each molecule, each atom, each person, each heartbeat, each breath. And I speak my word into the law for the highest and best, for the highest and best good of all present, for all nations, for all countries, for all experiencing this life in different aspects, knowing that we hold that space, that we hold the space for the heroes and sheroes, that those that are there to bring the blessings forward, to hold the hands and the hearts in service to all that are there in front of them. No matter how great or small our service is, we hold all of this, knowing that this is God. And with this gratitude, this joy that we are this divine presence, I say thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you, universe. Thank you, life. I release my word into a law that only says yes. And in truth, faith, and trust, I let it go. And together we say, and so it is.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
What a great time this morning.
Yes.
That was perfect for coming off that week.
Yes.
Palatable love all 5 days in a row. Like
Yeah.
it was sick. People that never even met me before would walk right by me like as if they loved me completely. Like it was like, hi.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Like,
Right.
that was awesome.
I remember saying to Reverend Rita something like, hello, beautiful one. And she's like, you're only seeing the reflection of yourself.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
this is the type of love that we were, and for those of you who followed us on Sober Sundays all week, because we look, it's happening again.
Yeah.
We knew that having a Facebook presence was, we
wanted to
promised you we wanted to share
But you
it.
saw how
So,
fruitcakey we were.
we
We
were.
were ridiculous because
And
we were so.
And I want you to know I never did get in the fountains. She made that.
Sometimes spirit.
She should have gotten the fountain.
Yeah, I
It would have
did
been
not
great.
get in the fountain.
I
My
wanted
hair
to
was
go-
wet because I
I
had
wanted-
gotten out of the shower.
It would have been a great picture though had she just gotten in the fountain and kind of ran towards me. I'd have been like, click, 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 click. But no, she wouldn't do it. She didn't want to get kicked out.
I
She
did
just-
not want
yeah.
to be 86th from Unity Village. I just,
I said, God has this though. God has this time.
it was amazing, and we had so much fun going live and
Yeah.
sharing everything.
Even though we were
And-
silly. You saw our
Yes.
silly, crazy side. And so
And we did lay down.
it was
God
fun.
too.
That's all, it's all God, people. It's all
Yeah,
God.
we did lay down in the grass and got up itchy. Yeah.
Yes. But it was worth it.
It
That
was
was
worth
the
it.
thickest grass. It was like a mat. Like we were like, we should lay on this.
Yeah.
Oh my
It
gosh, we
was
should
very
lay on
thick
this. It was
grass,
the
for
thickest
sure.
grass I've ever seen. It felt like we should lay on this. Yeah.
Yes.
So we did.
And Cerise outbid people to get me my labyrinth
Oh,
puzzle. She
no.
did. She was bidding
She
for it.
did.
Yeah, it was amazing.
It was
It
so
was
sweet.
amazing.
I
And we
know.
also want to share with you that, and it was part of Anton's thing too, that this is not just for ministers.
Yes.
The invitation is open. That they want more people to be included. So what I will say to you is that please check it out. And I would love to have all of you
Check
with
it
us
through
next
us.
year.
We'll help you find
Yeah.
out more about it. If you want to know more about it, we're going to be there next year. So
Yeah.
definitely, it'd be fun if we bring a whole crew from
Yes.
Sofa Sundays. And
Yeah,
there you go,
absolutely.
see?
So
yeah,
it
we're gonna have a good
it's an
time.
amazing experience. Unity Village is an amazing experience.
Yeah.
Totally
Yeah,
wonderful.
love it. Yeah, love it. All right. Well,
Thank you for having me.
oh, thank you so much for
coming.
being with us. You're the
It was
best.
so fun.
Yes, yes. We're so glad you said yes.
I know.
Well,
Yes.
thank you for continuing to ask.
Yes.
You mean beg? You mean beg?
That's
We're
also
fine.
who we are.
Manifesting God, like, never mind. We gotta
We're
get
like,
out.
no,
Yeah.
no, come be on the
I know, I don't know
sofa.
how we would have waited until May, so I appreciate it.
Yes,
so
we would
much
have.
that you gave us this
Thank
day.
you. Thank you.
All right, everyone. We'll see you
All
all
right.
next week.
See you
on
next
the sofa.
week.
Go ahead and turn that off. Lyric's learning how to run
Yes.
the show. Good job, girl. Look at